How's it going, everyone? Welcome to the Old School Runescape weekly Q&A. And they're all giggling. I'm assuming because of John.
I'm just seeing it.
There is nothing going on.
Professionals we are.
So, I suppose it might be worth getting out of the way to start. This is going to be Alfred's last Q&A stream because he's going back to university.
Yeah.
Anything you want to say?
That's not why we're laughing.
Yes! Sorry,
Nothing really to say. I can't really do part-time whilst doing uni, so I have to go back to uni. I'll apply in 8 months. Hopefully I get the job back. Who knows? I'd love to be back anyway. It was a great time. Yeah, best job I ever had.
If you get enough support from the chat, then maybe.
Yeah. Press one.
Press one.
Press one if you want me back.
We'll poll it.
That's a horrible idea.
We're not going to find another artist who eats things you eat.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah,
We can always force feed Ronan a scorpion or
So
two.
that could be the next interview process. You must eat this scorpion. or do better than Alfie did.
Yeah.
I suppose we've said stranger things in the interviews.
Yeah.
Those are ones.
Oh, yep. I see a 2.
There you go.
Wow.
That's a lot of ones.
That's a lot of support. Thanks, guys.
Yep.
Jesus.
Imagine they're all
suppose-
clapping.
I suppose we should kick off with an Alfred question, which there were many of.
Great.
I'll go with, are you going to pass on your fantastic Armadyl crossbow rework to the new guy?
Yeah, everything that I've made is going to be passed on to the new guy / Dan as well. It's all in his stream, so anything that I have made will eventually come out if you guys vote for it in the poll. So yeah.
Sorry, I can't sit like James anymore.
It's too much.
It does my neck in.
Okay, Zazima asks, not the real Zazima for the record,
It's got 2 E's in it.
2 E's. Can we get Tormented Demon combat style monster soon?
We had a look at the code and we're
Yes.
pretty sure we could make one of them work.
Definitely.
I've given it quite some thought as well, and with something we'll discuss next week.
Yep.
When we go and plan the rest of the year.
Yes.
Snapster asks, will you guys poll minigame rewards before more bounty hunter rewards? Couldn't they share some of the same rewards?
The difference is Bounty Hunter isn't really being treated like a mini game, so we're not making use of the minigame reward shop which isn't really populated right now. I think minigame reward shop isn't incredibly high on our priorities because we've got much more important things to be dealing with, such as Bounty Hunter, the continent stuff, and the things you voted for in the priority poll. But I think we do definitely need to come back to the minigame reward shop and find something to populate it with across other minigame reworks we'd like to do. Personally, I'd like to do a pest control one, not reverting it, but more things to do with pest control personally. But
Well, I'd also say that if you have 2 completely different activities that both give the same rewards, then it's pretty unlikely they'll both be exactly the same difficulty. So one will be devaluing the other automatically, and it'll just be a matter of buffing them in turn or something indefinitely, and never getting a proper balance. So having 2 sets of rewards that are both the same doesn't appeal.
It's Tebow asks, will the Corporal Beast have a requirement to kill or get to?
no, as long as you can survive running up towards it. We haven't really decided indefinitely or definitely yet whether or not there would be a teleport option. I know Ronan touched on it briefly last night in his live stream when he was killing 1,000 of them, but I haven't really decided yet whether there will be a teleport option. At the moment, it is straight run to the wilderness or to the cave through the wilderness as it was back in the day.
Of course, when that first came out, the wilderness was a non-PvP zone.
It was, and you could teleport to Bounty Hunter Bank, so you did have a relative safe run, free from revenants should they be around. So we'll work on that one, but at the moment there is no requirements to kill the Corp or equip any of the shields besides the standard defense and attack level requirements, or should they pass, of course. But no Corps open for everybody.
Room Crafting asks, how long before we get an in-game kappa?
Not sure.
I think the answer
What
is
is
never.
an in-game kappa anyway?
The kappa face, it comes up in the Twitch chat that
right.
you're definitely going to see a few hundred of in a few seconds.
Yeah, more
Full
like,
kappa.
I'm not entirely sure what I'd do with it, to be fair. You have to be UI, like a spell or
There you
something.
go.
That's the best I can do, really.
That's a lot of kappas.
Can you just imagine that as like a mod crown?
There we go, if we do Iron Man.
Yeah, you get that as your mod crown.
Moving on.
I want that as my mod crown.
Leon573 asks, any chance the music can be reworked like how it is in the main game so that a variety of different music plays depending on your area, instead of just a single looping song for a specific part of the map?
Well, with there's only one engine feature I'd want to request to do such a thing, which is good, because I wouldn't want to request a whole lot of engine work for this sort of update necessarily. Yeah, we could give you an option for what happens at the end of a track. At the moment it's either nothing or loop, but we could offer play something similar, or play something with a similar theme, various other options that you might think of, or play something completely random, whether it's of a similar theme or not. It wouldn't be hard to write, because I moved all the music data to something searchable, a bit like a database, a few months ago for a different project. And yeah, we probably could make that happen. The only thing I would want is the trigger that the engine guys created in about 2009 that tells the game reliably when a piece of music has stopped. Because at the moment it's trying to guess and it's not very good at it. That said, of all the things we could be developing, I'm not sure that's at the top of the list.
Leon573 asks, any more news of Iron Man mode coming to Old School?
We have had news from the engine guys, Guy, who is doing it for us. He's smoothing over the rule set with Matt right now and filling out whatever Matt dictates as a requirement. I think, as far as we know, it's very similar to RS3, so it's a very straightforward job for them, but there is movement on it, and it's something we'll be looking at very, very, very shortly. Yeah,
there's going to be on Friday with the devlog for the poll that's going to be next week, which will be Corporal Beast, the Halloween event, and Iron Man mode now. We're going to have Iron Man mode thrown into that devlog, and there's also going to be an ultimate mode, which some people were asking about yesterday, where you can't bank. So look forward to that.
We've basically taken the hardcore Iron Man mode that some players are already fulfilling themselves. I know there's one Iron Man who's trying to do it without banking, who drops everything before he goes to Entrine and all that. I think we're trying to incorporate that into an official mode, so anybody who's feeling hardcore will have an extra challenge.
The Barking asks, could we see an option in-game where we could see our game statistics?
I think it would depend
what had he in mind, do you know?
It would depend on what statistics you'd like to see.
Like, there's a few we'd like to do, like total time played and age of accounts, which we've talked about. I'm not sure what else he had in mind, though.
There are various things we are recording, like manually, that we've put in ourselves on your account, such as your castle wars kills. We're kind of hoping to save those for a high score, though. But I guess it would depend on what statistics you'd like to see. I think, as Ash pointed out, most of it is probably going to be things like your time played, your age, the age of your account, which, well, when we get the features to do so, we can do so.
I can see that basketball easily.
Yeah, so there are the basic stats. You can get anything that's put into content that's actually tracked. That's a fairly limited resource, because every single one of those becomes a variable on the player, which is a fairly limited resource from the content side. We do also separately track pretty much absolutely everything that happens on your account, but that's mostly just a bit for analysing real-world trading and botting and things like that. It doesn't necessarily get stored forever. So by going through that route, using our analytics stuff and maybe putting a web module to make that available, we could potentially do that, but that would be quite a large project for a very different team. Probably something you'd see if RS3 got it, then Old School could have it as well. So if there's enough demand from both games, then I'm sure that there's potential for that.
Can we get the toggle to show only emotes used in treasure trails?
Like filter the emotes list by the ones that are useful?
Yeah.
Yes.
That'd actually be quite a nice update.
Yep.
I like that.
Yeah, I'd be up for that.
Fearless Bones asked, if Corporal Beast comes out, will the requirements to smith a sigil and to smith the sigil into the shield be the same as in RS3? And yeah, it will be. That was mentioned in the devlog. You'll need, I think it's 85 smithing and 90 prayer.
Yes.
So, yes, you will need it.
65 prayer for the BSS, if I remember.
I haven't actually decided or concluded whether or not we are doing the less spirit shield. The standard spirit shield model I haven't even ported over, so we got to decide whether or not we want to do that one. It's not by any means a decent shield. It just looks quite nice, I guess.
I think it's worth offering.
Yeah. I'm more than happy to put it in there. I have no objections to putting it there. I just haven't done so yet because I think the main spirit shields were slightly more important.
Elu2 asks, will you be making achievement diaries with the elite diaries as well?
I'd like to offer elite diaries when we come to actually open the discussion about them anyway. Whether you guys...
You want a what?
That went well.
Brain fart. Yeah, whether you guys actually want them or not is what it comes down to. We might offer them at the same time or as a separate question just to make sure, but yeah.
I could see it going well as a separate question.
Can we have some of the lore added to Old School, e.g. Slug Menace and Fairy Tale Part 3?
Pretty sure they've got... Oh, Slug Menace Part 3.
Yeah.
Dear God, no.
Oh, the...
The one that's half built into Dungeoneering, which we haven't got.
Yeah. The moment I heard that quest, it was like, are you going to react the same way as me? Yes, you did.
I just can't see us implementing, the whole of a Dungeoneering place to go into for the sake of that quest.
Kenneth's Concerns?
I thought we'd got that.
We do
Did
have
we not?
Tennis Concerns. We also have the second part, which I believe was the standard Slug Menace quest, which
No,
when
you-
Old
we-
School was launched, we locked off.
Yeah, we fixed that.
We had Sea Slug, Slug Menace, and I think it went Kenneth's Concerns on the Rubium.
Kenneth's Concerns came after Slug Menace, yeah. You go into the same tunnels, but you do completely different things for a completely different plot for no apparent reason.
I don't think we've got that.
Oh. Well, also, Salt in the Wound involved references to the penguins, which we don't have the second penguin quest. And we'd have a better chance trying to recreate that than we would have trying to get Salt in the Wound. But I'm not especially keen.
There's quite a bit of trouble with porting over some of the RS3 lore into Old School anyway, based on the history of the RS3 lore is, as much as we've got, is already set in stone, and RS3 has taken a massive step forward with its lore. So for us to sort of contradict it by going in a completely opposite direction might be a little bit problematic, especially when we look at things like doing Nex. We can't really make it do something different to what it did originally because it's very iconic. We can take smaller parts of the lore and work on those, but I'm not really keen personally on undermining a lot of the RS3 storyline that's there right now by taking, say, Elf City and doing something completely different with it. While Gothic Sleeps, I think, is another example, especially with the precursors, or the precursors to that, such as which are the Margerat and the World Wakes. I think if we were to do something different with Gothics, it wouldn't really make sense. So I'd like to do lore slightly differently, but I'm not personally in favour of going in a completely opposite direction.
Well, we have a whole new continent where we can put new law. So
Yes,
Yep.
we can
We
make
don't
up
need
our
to.
own lore with various updates we plan to do in the future. So I guess that's a good opportunity for us to open up a discussion on a new storyline that we can take forward.
Yes. It could even have different gods or creatures that say they're gods that turn out maybe not to be.
Yes.
The possibilities are really quite big.
In our game, do we actually see any Margerat? I believe.
Yeah.
Well, there's
Temple
an
of
Akra.
Yeah, an Akra, I think. Is
There's
the only one.
Temple of Ikov.
Yes. So I wouldn't really want to do anything too major with Margerat, but I think we could have a new sort of god slash demigod slash deity in some respect.
God John.
God, John.
Asanadra's a Madrat, isn't he?
Yes, he is. Yes. So we can do something with things like that in the new continent. I'd like to.
Also, the thing is, if we were to try and recreate those quests copied from RS3, we can adapt their models over, fine. It takes a bit of doing, because they always come out blue for reasons that you explained to me once, to do with HSL conversion.
I believe so, yeah.
But animations, I think you've had to reanimate from scratch every model we move across.
Yep.
And sometimes that's a lot of models, like in the, While Gothic Sleeps quest, there's a lot of animated stuff in there, and strange creatures, and areas with just lots of custom models to make them look unique. Copying all that across, we could be at it for weeks, like really weeks, and that may not be the way you most want us to use many weeks of dev time.
No, I'd rather spend that many weeks of dev time writing a new quest as
Yeah.
opposed to just forging an old one.
Yeah, because if you're going to do a quest, if you remember how you did it before, then it's not actually quite so much fun the second time.
Eternal Hugs asks, earlier this week I asked Ash if we could get mounts. Is this possible, or is Old School unable to support it?
Is RS3 able to support it?
I did fake a mount once. I think I tweeted a picture of it. I was riding a dragon, and the dragon reared up as well, and I managed to stay on top of it.
You were invisible. There was just a model of a naked person
Yeah.
riding a dragon.
In a very
It was a fake. It wasn't a mount as you expect it to be. It was, I transmogrified myself into a dragon with a human modelled onto the back of it.
Yes, a dragon with a human-shaped hunchback.
Yeah, so now comes the technical bar.
Yeah, I mean, there are various ways which we can do mounts in a restricted sense, but it's quite difficult to make it work with the size and scale of the world. I mean, if you consider that pretty much everything in terms of players and most NPCs at one tile, there are limited size NPCs, and when we have large NPCs, they tend to have special areas made around them just so they don't clip with everything. So the old school engine is very restricted in that sense. Doesn't mean we can't do basic mounts, it just means that it's difficult to see the benefit because you're restricted in terms of how interesting the animations are with them, how much they help you travel around, given that things are actually physically quite close. Also, we've already got run energy problems as it stands, and people don't want to change that. So what are rewards? That, you know, it's difficult to see how it will fit in, but there are sort of, there aren't 100% just blanket technical limitations stopping us from doing it. We could make something work. It's just a question of the rewards and things more, I'd say.
The closest we've got is probably that sled from the Troll Romance quest.
Yeah.
What we did there was build the sled into your model and restrict you so you couldn't do any other interesting animations while you were sitting on it, and restrict you so you could only go into one place where there wasn't anything to do. So you wouldn't get into, well, a spellcasting fight like that very easily, and you wouldn't try to fish while on the sled, so we didn't have to tie into all the fishing code to handle people on sleds. We just had to handle that there's a few trees and some wolves and nothing else. Mounts with that kind of restriction wouldn't be nearly as, well, useful or exciting as a proper mount might expect to be.
I think, as James said, a lot of the big bosses or big NPCs in game have environment built around them to stop them from clipping, so that environment really suits their size. I think if we were to do something with mounts, the likelihood is, and an idea we came up with at home actually, is in the new continent we could have an area where you can mount NPCs, and we build the area around that sort of style, so you don't look ridiculous doing what you're doing. And as with the sled, we stop you from doing things like getting into a spellcasting fight or woodcutting, and we handle that quite nicely. So that's an opportunity again for us to sort of explore mounts in the continent, I guess.
At the moment, if we stuck you on top of a size 5 dragon and you became a size 5 entity trundling around us, man plus dragon or whatever, you wouldn't be able to walk into Varrock through just about any entrance. That'd be not so useful.
Seeds Range asks, can we get a high level overcharge spell that increases the max hit of god spells further?
Yeah, if you want it, I'll be up for that.
Yeah, I have no objection.
What is the max hit?
It's 30 with charge. We can make it 35 or even 40.
That sounds OP.
Or we can make it anything. We can make it 255.
We could.
Exactly. It's like everything else. It just comes down to you guys really want it.
Sam Wilson 997 asks, can we get an NPC called Alfie that changes the deep kick to the reworked one as a tribute to Alfie?
I believe there is an NPC called Alfie or Alfred.
I don't believe there's one called Alfred. I haven't seen one called Alfred. Alfie, I can believe.
Is he outside the Tower of Life?
That's what I was thinking.
We can rename that one.
I don't know.
Is he the one who
should
lifts?
know.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, the guns or something.
Oh no, that's the guns.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, and occasionally, if you walk past him and say, "Alfie, if you smile at the camera," "Alfie, if you're reading this, smile at the camera," it will do that. That's I've been watching
What
him
are
do.
those three
Alfred
children on
Robertson.
Karamja?
Jack, Jill and Jeff.
That's the one. Never mind.
We could have a guy who sits on Karamja and tries to eat the scorpions.
I'm cool to go with that.
Yeah?
Or just tries to eat literally everything around him.
Favoritism.
You just have to stop live streaming at that stage to make sure that it's not too controversial.
This question comes from someone with an oddly familiar username. Modreach asks, did the Transformers guys enjoy the Freddos?
Anyone care to explain that?
Okay, basically I bought loads of sweets and chocolates, and I didn't accidentally send I sent an email to all staff. Yeah.
All
Everyone in
500
Jagex.
staff.
Everyone at Jagex.
Some in London, some in other buildings in Cambridge.
Some on other continents.
Everyone.
It's rather amusing how some people who had probably never even met us before came and went, "Oh, there's Freddos." It's like, okay, well there are. Help yourself. I mean, you were invited to have some Freddos.
Yeah.
Not intentionally, of course, but have some anyway.
Yeah. So there's a lot of people. Yeah. It's not all gone though. It's still up there.
No, I'm surprised.
Yeah.
When our marketing director came across, his response was, "Well, I wasn't expecting that."
Yeah.
I'll have
Was
a
that
Kit
who he
Kat.
was?
Yeah.
I didn't know who he was.
Rather amusing.
Rum353 asks, what update would you want to pass the poll in the future? This doesn't include Pole and new continent.
Oh, that's my answer. Gone.
Resizable?
Resizable mode would be my next one.
Ooh, come back to me.
We'll run you
We're
now.
not pulling that.
I don't know. What did I really like?
Just say resizable.
No, that's
We
not
all want that
original.
to pass.
I want Jomscape.
Oh, there you go.
Just new graphical updates, like shard, odium wards and stuff.
Yeah, I
Oh,
see
really?
why you might want to
Deep
wish
hits.
for that.
Yeah,
I heard once we
Armadyl,
developed
crossbow,
reworks for a
yeah.
shard, the Odium and Malediction ward.
yeah, I heard about that as well.
Yeah.
I don't want Spirit Shields to pass.
Snake
Yeah,
Boss,
I
actually.
think, yeah.
I'm changing my mind.
Snake boss.
Sorry.
Small yellow duck in Falador.
Yeah, we can do that one. Do that one quite quickly, actually. You?
With any choice of name as well.
Yeah.
You've obviously already done resizable, so it's difficult to choose. I should have to vote for that as well,
There you go.
given we spent like a week's worth of time on it.
Daku RS asks, how many pictures have been sent in at the minute for RuneFest?
Are we receiving pictures for RuneFest?
Yeah.
Yes,
we are,
so
yeah.
Ronan's been collecting the pictures from the players.
We've
Okay.
not had a huge amount at this point in time, maybe 5 or 6. So definitely send them in if you guys haven't seen that already. Check out the forums in the announcements forums. There's a thing called, I think it's called Pitch Tours at RuneFest or something along those lines.
That one.
If you're going to RuneFest and you are an old school player, then you can submit your ideas for an update. And we're going to go through the suggestions and pick out the ones that are particularly stand out. And then if you're on that list, you'll get to pitch it to us at RuneFest. You'll get about 20 minutes to talk to us about it and explain it and tell us why we should do it. And if we end up getting any decent suggestions, then we might end up polling them and seeing them in game.
If we get any decent suggestions.
They have to be decent.
That's, well, optimistic of you.
I thought you said pictures.
Oh, well,
So I was slightly confused.
feel free to send us pictures.
Yeah. No, don't.
Yeah, no.
It's all right, it's Ronan who's reviewing them all.
That's right, you can send us cake though, we like cake.
Thoughts on potion flasks for old school, and since skeletal wyverns are being reworked, could we get super prayer potions?
Again, if you really want them, then yeah, we can do them.
I seem to remember last time we talked about flasks on one of these streams, it filled up with no flasks, no flasks, no flasks.
It does make every aspect of combat completely, well not completely, but a lot easier. But, yeah.
Yeah, so if you don't also have a change to the combat system to offset that, then it probably wouldn't be balanced.
Yeah, we could just modify the combat system slightly.
What, evolve it?
Yeah.
I think,
Then we could do things like turmoil and caressy.
yeah. Well, there you go, no flasks.
No flask.
I think a lot of the sort of concerns we got with things like spirituals where we were trying to advance too quickly. And I think if we introduce flasks, much to your, by the looks of it, despair, then it would probably be quite a negative change for us. So I'm not entirely sure we'll probably be making that change.
Frankly, given how fiddly it is with all the code for using stuff on each other to make potions and all the decanting code, I wouldn't want to make flasks unless you really wanted it, and I sense you don't, so I won't.
Yeah, manual testing and all that would have taken me an age.
Well, as the chat is rightly, well I say rightly, as the chat is
Very
quite-
strongly.
quite strongly suggesting we shouldn't do that. Well, they are suggesting we EOC or riot.
Well, there's one of us suggesting that if we're doing flasks, we should do Virago. And I don't mind the idea of a Virago.
No, I really like the idea of trying to do a Virago. I'm
What it
not
would drop,
entirely
I
sure we
can't
can
imagine.
accomplish it, but
Yeah.
the idea of doing something like Virago, I'm definitely for.
Ashe630 asks, will the Dragon Defender still be in a future update, possibly through the Warriors Guild?
Yeah, we can.
We did propose it for the Bounty Hunter rework, not rework, rewards. That poll is, I think we did Dragon Defender, wasn't it? It was the Dragon Spike,
which would give you access to a certain set of Cyclops, which you'd be able to get a Dragon Defender from.
Yeah, which didn't pass, or isn't passing.
No, I think I was about to follow up with that isn't passing right now, but the poll is still live, so if you are in favour of that and you haven't voted yet, go and vote because it might make a difference. But
Yeah, and if you don't, then we can certainly offer it in a completely different place, in a completely different way.
JDZYY asks, will the teleport to court be on the games necklace? Would prefer it to be on jewellery over spellbooks.
Haven't we had this conversation?
yeah, I think we had this at earlier in the live stream.
We mentioned
At the moment, there is no teleport to Corp. I haven't planned on putting one there. However, we do. I would likely have it sort of imbued inside the Corp cave or something, just so you had to at least run through the wilderness to get there. just to sort of keep that risk there and give PKers something to really poach, I guess.
The Aaron RS asks, will Alfred be at RuneFest?
Yes, I will be at RuneFest. That's all I can say, really.
Did we pay for your ticket? By your own?
I'm gonna. I didn't pay for my own. Let's just say that.
Okay.
No.
But yeah, I will be there.
As will all of us, actually.
Oh yes.
So you can tell him to touch his nose if he reads the conversation and make him smile at RuneFest as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, at RuneFest, you can touch his nose.
Yeah.
Everybody's
No
coming up to
issues
you.
with that?
I'll call security ASAP if you touch me. Just
You're allowed to call security when you don't work for us.
probably not. I'll call the police then.
Oh, yeah.
Not really
They
how it
touched
works.
my nose.
Be the worst 999 call ever.
Somebody
He stole my nose!
Forful123 asks, Mod Alfred, can you make a gnome child hat before you leave?
Yes, I'll make one as soon as I get upstairs. It's just a cone.
It's basically a dunce hat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I sort of made one of those for the little imp that starts
I love
the
that.
the random event where you get taken to a school. Now that
yeah.
we're not using the mysterious old man for all the invitations where I could avoid it, I took the imp character that's standing in the corner of the schoolroom and made that turn up to invite you into the random event.
Awesome.
Yeah, had to
didn't
make
know
a
that.
custom chat head for that.
Nice.
At
Oh,
like 11 p.m.
Can you make magic shortbow shoot dragon arrows?
No,
That would kind of
just because of the script.
Well, there's that,
Oh.
and I think the dark bow sort of retains that unique ability. So
Yeah, even the third age bow doesn't fire dragon arrows.
Should it?
Probably.
I know there was some talk about it before, I just don't remember which way it went.
We just ran out of time with it.
It did boil down to time, and the dark bow having its own folder.
Ah, yes. There's
present-
5 files of Darkbow code.
Yeah, that presented too much of a challenge too late into the development. Actually, very soon before release, for us to actually warrant doing that at that time. So
We could go back and sort it out, but I put in the skill guide that fires up to rune arrows, and we can't just change what's in the skill guides.
no, because that's set in stone now, isn't it? That can never be changed.
People always say set in stone as if it will never fade away or never wear out or never change. The thing is, that graveyard next to your place, there's all things there set in stone, and you can't read them because they've all faded.
Well, that's a hole in that logic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I live near a graveyard.
Do you live in a church?
No, I don't. There's a church next to our house, but there's a graveyard. That's about it.
Rum353 asks, Mod Alfred, are you leaving for uni, or is it really a slow death from scorpion poison?
Yes, I am actually dying from Ebola.
That's not what. That is not.
I
what
got
we'll
Ebola from the scorpion. Got it from the scorpion.
You hugged me earlier.
You've caught it.
We
Everyone's
You
caught
only,
it.
you only get it if you exchange bodily fluids. So
With a scorpion.
Oh, I was so. I won't make that comment.
We would not want to give the impression that there's anything funny at all about dying
No,
of
there
Ebola.
isn't. There's not. It's not funny at all.
that just cut that.
Yeah,
just
I
cut
am
that
going
number.
to uni. Yeah.
So there you
Not
go.
dying,
See,
yeah.
now everyone is. Set everyone off.
That gnome in the game on Brimhaven called Priced Ebola, I really cannot remember for the life of me why we called him that. There must
Wait,
have been a
who?
reason. It's one of the gardeners who look after your spirit trees. His surname is Ebola.
The Brimhaven one.
Yeah, Priced
really?
Ebola.
I've planted my spirit tree there, and I did not know that. Okay,
Well, that's little Mr. Ebola, that is.
fair enough.
And that was the one we didn't make by keyboard mashing, because Yolf Squex is the one where we'd been keyboard mashing.
And every dungeoneering boss.
Yeah.
So what should we name this one today? There you go.
OS Eliok asks, would it be possible to, depending on your fishing level, fish up a message in a bottle which you would open up and find a clue scroll?
I actually quite like that idea.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, we would make it an easy or medium clue scroll, but I quite like that idea.
I don't like fishing.
Neither do I, but I guess it would be quite nice if you did get a message in a bottle. That's quite a nice niche.
You know the casket that you sometimes get when big net fishing?
Yeah,
Well, that's almost asking for it.
that is really useless. We could do something with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then so is big net fishing.
We could put the jar of
Yeah.
dirt in it.
It's very good for getting gloves, boots, and cod. Is it? Cod? Do you get cod from it? Like pike, maybe?
No,
Some really low level fish.
I think it's cod.
There you go. It's not really worth doing, but I guess we could put clue scrolls in there if it means we boost big net fishing.
Or is it bass? Oh, it doesn't matter.
It's a low level fish of some description. Someone will correct us in a minute.
Richard J. Pease asks, Alfred, what got you into art?
What got me into 3D art? That's probably a better question. RuneScape, actually. I've been playing it since 2001, and yeah, I've always wanted to make video games, and making RuneScape's always been my dream, and I've actually done it now. So
You've done it now. He's leaving.
yeah, now I'm leaving.
It's like 5 months. That's enough for me.
Yeah.
Been there, done that.
Yeah,
It's like, well, I've made
I
video
just
games
ticked it
now.
off my bucket list. So I'm on to my next challenge. No, I'm kidding. Hopefully I'm back. But yeah, RuneScape got me into 3D art.
Can you please make the left click option on pets walk here?
No, not with the current engine.
But we
We could ask for an engine change to make it possible, although it's not one I'd have ranked as high priority as some of the other stuff we're waiting from the engine team.
No, especially since we've got news now that the trading post is being worked on.
Yeah,
So I'm not likely to request anything from the engine team, because if that distracts them, then we're going to be waiting, an indefinite amount of time. So
yeah. And it's been a while since we polled that trading system, so it would be nice to be able to deliver.
Puyo1 asks, is there any chance of polling anti-aliasing along with the resizable screen?
I think this one's for you.
Yeah, it's not really worth it. So the standard way of doing anti-aliasing mostly relies on essentially rendering things at a higher resolution and scaling things down, or at least it's similar to that, give or take. But Old School's already quite CPU intensive. While we could do it, it would not perform particularly well for most people. So as a result, I don't really think it's worth it. Add to that the fact that we have fairly low resolution textures and colours.
yes.
It's not really going to add that much to the graphical fidelity. You'd want to see, lighting effects to match it and things. Plus, when you add on top of that the people who like it to sort of stay the same in some senses,
Yeah.
I'm not so sure it's necessarily worth the time. We might think about whether it's worth taking a look at, but I suspect we'll decide that it's not. But I'll get back to you. We might take a look at it.
We do have quite a lot of time. I think resizable mode isn't something we're looking at in the short term, at least. It's a very big update, no matter how much James does on the engine side of things, and we do have quite a lot of updates to deliver to you ourselves, such as Bounty Hunter and other things that we promised for the rest of this year, even including things on the priority poll. So we are quite away from resizable mode, but that gives us plenty of time to think about things like that.
Escape Rune asks, in Canopy's bank there was a really cool crate you could click on and it would spawn loads of spiders, rats and chickens to run around the bank, but the poll booth replaced it. Can we have that crate back somewhere? It was awesome.
Okay.
did that create?
I had no idea that existed.
Yeah.
No, I didn't know that either, or I wouldn't have deleted it by putting the poll booth down.
I didn't know.
Sorry.
No, you couldn't even access that crate because when you mapped down the poll booth, I remember not being able to reach the poll booth.
Well, what we could do is create such a crate on the grounds it sounds like fun.
Yeah.
I really had no idea. Did that actually exist?
Why
I
would
don't-
there
he
be a
might be
crate in
trolling
a
us.
bank with crap in it like that?
That you couldn't access.
I had no idea. That's quite interesting.
Apparently so.
Maybe it never did
A lot of
exist.
people are like, what?
Yeah,
Well, maybe it never did exist and Escape Rune's hoping that we'll create one. Which is one way of getting your requests to us.
You
So-
get comfortable there?
Yeah, I like this corner.
Okay.
Okay.
Tippity asks, as the Ring of Wealth Eye makes you get clues twice faster than normal in the wilderness, does it work inside the Abyss? Abyssal leeches drop medium clue scrolls. And no, I don't think that was the intention. I think the point of
No.
making it give you that bonus in the wilderness is that you have to risk being in the wilderness and being attackable by other players. So I wouldn't expect to see that work in the Abyss.
But we could easily add medium clue scrolls to something in the wilderness.
Yeah.
I think mammoths.
Mammoths would actually
Yeah.
be quite nice. I think a lot of people have got concerns about mammoths being either too strong or not worth killing, so that would be a nice boost for them.
A lot of the bounty hunter stuff is really close to passing, but just like 50 votes off, will they be repolled?
At least for the initial launch, we'll probably have quite enough things passed that will make a decent sized reward shop to be starting with. If there's ongoing demand for other things, then we can look at what you're looking for there and look for places to fill the gaps. I'm not going to suggest a blanket rule that anything that gets close enough to passing automatically gets repolled, because that rather defeats the point of you being able to vote no.
Myself and Matt did sit down at the start of this week, or 2 days ago or so, to discuss the things that are currently in Bounty Hunter to see if we had enough substance to really put it in the store and to really provide an update depending on what passed. Matt quickly made Bounty Hunter our top priority, so at the moment I'm working on Bounty Hunter and I've managed to row Passion to help so we can get it to you as fast as we can. But I believe there's enough substance there at the moment to give us a good Bounty Hunter update. Some of the things are tipping over as well, so I noticed this morning the clue box is now 75%.
Is it?
Yes.
I think it's just
74.8.
short.
It might be just short. I was looking at the website, so it does say 75%, but it might mean it's 74.8/9, which means it's still got time to tip over. So that's another thing we can add if it passes. If you haven't voted, please go and vote, because that makes all the difference. But at the moment, it's our highest priority. We are looking at the rewards, and I think we are tweeting. Well, I certainly am tweeting them to give you a glimpse into what we're doing. So.
Once Bounty Hunter is out, we are actually going to be looking back to you guys to get more suggestions for future stuff. It's not the end of the reward shop at this point, because not a whole lot of what we did poll passed. A decent chunk did, definitely plenty to start with, but if we need to come up with a few more ideas, then that's what we'll do, and we'll get help from you guys in doing that.
Yep.
Will there be a pet for Corp on release?
Probably.
Again, there was some discussion last night on Ronan stream about what the pet should be, and now we internally, at least, or at least you and I, and yourself actually, had a discussion on what we should make the pet be. Now, naturally, a lot of people say we'd like the Corp, but that doesn't really make an awful lot of sense to us, and we don't want to oversaturate the game with, large NPCs scaled down, because it just looks tacky. So we were kind of thinking of having the dark core, which would jump around, hop around, following you behind you, and we could give it some sort of snazzy dialogue and things like that, because that's a bit more unique. Again, it is up to you. If you do want a Corp, we can give you a Corp. Otherwise, I think we kind of like the idea of a dark core, because that's a bit more special. But I don't want to be obligated to provide a pet with every single boss we launch. I think that's going to be a separate poll question with everything we do. But I think in this instance, we're going to offer it, and we'll see exactly what you want.
I look forward to seeing what it does in a POH Menagerie combat arena.
Yeah, just drain all its opponent's HP and
It could spin.
Well, given that the Corp used to eat familiars, that could be quite an amusing thing to put in your menagerie.
So every time it enters a fight, you lose a pet. It's just consumed it.
A good thing we've got insurance now.
It avoids the insurance.
What if you feed your pets to a bigger creature? I
To be
suppose
fair,
that
I
would
think
be
if you
fun.
did that with your pets anyway, you wouldn't get insurance for it. So
No, but then like, you get locked up.
We didn't put
Hopefully.
much detail on probably are about the actual policy.
Yeah, all the possibilities for terms and conditions of an insurance policy.
I did say that NPC needs to spew you 20 minutes of just rubbish before you actually manage to buy any insurance.
Yeah, I got slightly torn between doing that, which is funny, and trying to make it such that people might use the feature.
There's a difference between usability and just hilarity.
Very tempting though.
Yeah.
I would have done.
Last question that I've got is from Jube, and they ask, with the toggle coming in for randoms, or the optional side of things coming in for randoms, would it be possible to release a mega rare balloon pet from Scape Rune?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's come up quite a few times.
It's not.
Has it?
Didn't do.
I've not seen that once.
It means that there was one random event out there, possibly one of the most annoying ones that you'd want to do. But
There's 4 types of those balloons. We could give you a pet that turns between them randomly, or we could let you keep doing the event till you've got all 4.
oh god no.
Or we could just give you a balloon.
Just
and
give you a random
tie it
one.
into a.
Yeah, I think giving you a balloon would be easier, and it could double as a spare snake of some sort.
That took a turn I wasn't expecting.
Yeah.
Everyone wants a pet Alfred.
Yeah.
We've gone from pet Mod Ash to pet Alfred.
And what would that do? Would it smile and
Eat
touch its nose?
scorpions.
It would
and
smell,
onions
touch its
and
nose,
cheese.
eat scorpions, and it would occasionally ask you a question it probably knows the answer to.
Yeah.
I like we're all sitting forward now. Is this a
And
thing?
apparently would email the entire company it
Fine.
works for
Yeah.
to offer them chocolate.
Freddo's.
Fair enough.
Cover your ears a sec, guys.
You all right?
Yes.
We could do it normally,
I wouldn't know, right?
or we could just oversell it.
Hold on. I haven't got my scorecards with me, but
No
7.
scorecards.
Thank you.
I would go to the chat for questions, but it's pet Alfred or Or just laughing at Ash.
Pet Ebola?
No.
No.
You already have one, you just can't see it.
Yeah, following you.
I get there's not really many questions coming through at the moment because it's all just lols and Pet Alfred. Which we could do a Pet Alfred. We can't really ask you to model it anymore though.
No, you can ask someone else to model it.
Yeah.
Or we could use the gnome child and call it Alfred.
Yes.
Oh,
Can we put a
no.
gnome child in a gnome stronghold called Alfred? Or Alfie?
That plays
Or
with
Alf?
they're
If-
sort of best friends with a gnome child.
If you do your charity run dressed as the gnome child,
Okay, deal.
We're cool with that. We will do it. That if you do it dressed as the gnome child, which means you have to wear a one-tone sort of beige dunce hat,
I think it's green.
and you've got
It's
to do
not
it with that
beige, is it?
expression the entire way as well.
No.
Just the whole. I can't really do it, but
and
I
you
imagine Ash can.
and you have to just say really philosophical things while you're running.
As much as people
Like stay in
love
school.
Alfred, I don't know if they love Alfred more than the gnome child. I think
Yeah,
that
that's
might
true.
get on their nerves a bit.
Yeah.
Maybe.
We can poll
That's
it.
the only way I'm going to consider it, though.
Cool.
I like that idea.
Seeing as the chat's just still laughing at Alfred.
Yeah. Someone says remove hasters from DDS duels.
Oh, yeah, I saw it.
Yeah, we've had a few requests for a toggle for that.
Yeah, you're going to have a no haster option.
It's getting a bit specific, but if they're not asking for a whole load of other really specific things than just that one, then I suppose we could do it.
One thing that I've seen quite a lot of people asking about is scamming in the duel arena. They're saying that they get more people trying to scam them than people actually trying to legitimately stake them. So would it be worth adding something to the first screen so you can only accept after a certain amount of time? You don't get those instant changes in rules.
We can have a go. I did it before for the other games, Duel Arena.
We did that originally, so yeah.
So if we were going in there to add an extra thing to the options screen, it would be a good opportunity to have a go at it. Because you'd be having to do some nasty testing in the Duel Arena anyway.
I don't mind the duel arena.
It's not a fun place to test.
I mind the Duel Arena.
I just shoot myself before I go in.
It's really not a fun place to test. But
Well,
which is
thank
why
you
I'm-
then if you're going to just do that.
which
The new
runs-
Colosseum and the new continent will be great though.
Yes, I would really like. You didn't get to finish modelling it
No, I
for me.
didn't,
No,
Didn't get
we have to-
started.
Well, you only
Yeah,
need
you
to
did
model
start. I
one
did start,
wedge and
but-
you can just tile it all the way around, right?
Yeah, that's true.
No, that Colosseum's going to be
We're
great.
going to have big player tournaments there.
I did plan to. I wanted the actually in tournament area, so the area you can fight in, to be one map square. So that's 64 by 64 tiles. To give you an idea of how big that is, the all 4 duel arena arenas. That's the word I'm looking for. All 4 of those to make up one map tile. They're all based on one map tile. So imagine merging all 4 of those. That's how big I want the Colosseum to be. And we can have players sit down in the arena seating, much like they can in Clan Citadels, hopefully, if we can work it out. And have big tournaments and
Just a
things
free
go on
for all,
there.
like 20.
We might be able
Yeah.
to work out something with the engine. Bear in mind you can only see players for a very short distance around you.
Yes.
Maybe we can do something about that from the engine side.
Mod Philip was asking the other day whether we had full visibility instanced areas in
Yes.
this engine. We currently don't,
You don't.
but
we can do that.
if
though.
that could be made possible, we could find a way of cheating to make the Colosseum use it.
I see a few people asking where Mod Matt K is. I'll let him tell you, but he couldn't be with us today.
Sorry, you'll let him...
Yeah,
Oh, is he in this chat?
probably. I think I've seen him.
Chuck Matt will probably be watching anyway. So.
Yeah, well, everybody
Matt.
say hi to him on Twitter. Go on.
And there was actually a question there which I missed, and I literally just this second forgot what it was. So that's not very helpful. Dragon Warhammers. That's come up quite a few times. I'm going to steal that one purely because I think that there was a discussion to do with Corp having Dragon Warhammers, although we haven't offered it as a poll.
Warhammers,
Warhammers, yeah.
2 weapons.
Well, Warhammer hammers.
Okay.
You know,
We do have a lot of
singular
space
plural.
for some high level crush weapons. Dragon Warhammer fits, but it's not really a fitting reward for a boss as difficult as Corp.
Maybe a solo
My
boss?
car broke, but it's fixed now.
Yeah.
It's fixed now.
Matt's
Hey.
car's fixed.
Oh,
Awesome.
To the tune of 250 quid by the sounds of it. It's not very pleasant. But yeah, so as John said, whatever John just said actually, we have room for it. But
Yeah, I'd like to get one in there sometime. Whether it's we go one above Dragon as well, with something level 70-ish.
Spellbook. Somebody was talking about Spellbooks. We did have a PDC lined up for a potential new spellbook, didn't we?
We were quite keen on that idea, letting people submit their ideas for spells to be on it and then running a PDC based on that. So it would be a properly community-driven spellbook for the first time ever. I do like the idea. We're currently a little bit roomed with big projects at the moment, which is the main thing holding us back, given that we've got to finish the bounty thing and do the trade thing, and then there's a lot of interest in the continent. And Iron Man support would be nice as well. But we would like to make that one of the next PDCs.
I mean, I can explore it with the continent itself anyway, when I plan to, so...
A myth dragon boss. Wouldn't that just be
A myth-
adamant dragon?
Or just a bigger myth dragon at the very least.
They're fairly high level as it is. They're harder than the KBD.
Matt's Spark Mac plugs broke on his car.
Oh.
That's unfortunate.
Is there much use for adamant bars and things that you get from adamant dragon?
We'll come up with
It
something like a dragon
doesn't seem to
one.
be worth mining, so the ore.
I did put something on a wish list the other day from a thread, the increased out value of the adamant plate body to 9984 from the 7680 that it is at the minute. It was done in 2009-ish, I think.
I thought they did that.
I don't know why.
1500 plus total level worlds.
No, 2200.
22.
If you're going to do it right.
Do we actually have... We don't really have the need for level-specific worlds, really, these days.
We
Well,
don't
not
say
in
so.
our game, at least.
It's not like the worlds are full, apart from World 1.
Yeah, and you're not... You mean, fighting for resource isn't really much of a problem. I'm not entirely sure why we ever had, like, minimum total level worlds anyway.
Well,
People
it's
just
always
didn't
nice
want
to
to
have
talk to
something
noobs.
exclusive.
Didn't want to talk to noobs.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a slightly friendlier community.
Yeah.
Yes,
That one
you're
solves that
friendly,
one.
got that?
Yeah, you're friendly, so I think they are.
Mind you, if we had the engine support that was created for those level restricted worlds, we could use it for other things as well. Like what it was a sort of pre-login check that would prevent login in whatever circumstances we cared to script,
Yeah.
which we could also use for worlds with other restrictions in future when the players think of it, like a world where you can only be in the wilderness or something.
An associated change for the login screen, so you can actually
Give the
plug some more
response.
data into there. Yeah, we can get that done.
Just saw an interesting question, actually. Somebody said, will existing Iron Man accounts be made an official Iron Man when the system is launched? We'd like to try and do that with some of them, well, more completed Iron Man accounts at the very least. So take Boaty's account, Sun's, Paul's, the Pain Streamers, and I don't really know if anybody has very many non-sort of public-facing Iron Man accounts, but that's something we can look into. What we do with that and how we do that, I don't know. We're probably going to have to discuss that, especially when Matt comes back. It's all up in the air at the moment and still being developed, so we're still deciding what the rule set is officially going to be. I think Matt's mostly finalised that now, and we'll then decide how we're going to approach existing Iron Man accounts to make sure they're recognised on the high scores probably. We're not undermining anybody's current achievements, and everybody who starts Iron Man is obviously properly recognised as well, so that's something we'll look to do when Matt's back.
I think the biggest concern with that is that Iron Men that exist at the minute, Boaty is an example, he PKs on his Iron Man, so there are certain aspects of the more well-known Iron Men that won't necessarily fit in with the rule set that we're going to be bringing out. So it's something that we would have to look at for each account that is an Iron Man now, see whether or not it suits.
Take some guts to PK on an Iron Man account.
Yeah. There was a question just gone up there from RuneScape Damage Inc. that about the Clan Wars Classic map. And like he says, he sent us a load of graphics a while back for what he'd ideally like it to look like it was before. And the good news is Alfred has been using that kind of thing.
I've actually managed to finish it off now. It's in the Dan's test stream, so whenever we get round to maybe polling it, or I don't think we're going to have to poll it.
Well, it's a simple addition to the menu the way you've done it, so it doesn't take anything away.
No.
We do normally poll new features anyway, but I don't see it failing.
Yeah. But it's as close as possible to the original Clan Wars Classic map.
I imagine you've
As I
had to
could
spend
get it.
quite a lot of time pouring through those videos and screenies trying to get all the rocks and trees.
Yeah, well, it's done now.
Somebody actually said, question for Alfie actually, what's been your favourite moment since being at Jagex?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah.
Ghost chili or scorpion?
Or jumping in the river?
Or the onion?
Or killing me with a potato.
Oh yeah. Owning you.
Oh, that.
I then wiped your entire bank.
True. Probably some of my favourite moments are Ash sneezing in his chair.
That's always fun.
I like that. Yeah, just
Everyone's good
doing
at something.
doing crazy stuff on stream, I think, for charity as well. Yeah, it's all been good.
Oh, that's a good point. What are you going to be doing for your colour run Might be worth mentioning that.
Yeah, well, I'll have my own stream up. I'm going to be streaming, if you guys didn't know.
You're streaming yourself doing the
No, like PKing and stuff.
Oh,
And
right,
if I pass a certain point of donations, then I will do something crazy on stream.
Eat a bar of soap.
Eat a bar of soap.
You're going to eat a bar of soap?
I'm not going to eat a bar of soap.
How much? How much? Where's my wallet?
Stick to food, okay?
Yeah.
Like
Stick to food. A scorpion wasn't food, and even with a ghost chili. But
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty much like food. He even said that used by a certain date on it. There was no date, but it said it had a use by
soap
date.
probably has that as well. But still,
Yeah. I think I want to eat soap.
yeah. So that was favourite moment.
Yeah.
I would have thought jumping in the river would have been.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
It's literally-
It was like, it was like
didn't
your
even bring
second week
It
as
was.
well.
Yeah, I didn't even bring a towel with me, so I jumped in the river and came out. I was like, oh, okay, I'm
No.
dying now. Yeah.
It's quite an interesting moment when MMG comes down and it's like, do you want to jump in the lake with us? Good, cool, see you tomorrow. Come down, it's like, oh, welcome to Jagex Alfred, now jump in the lake.
I liked it
His
better than his
initiation.
first idea, which was that we all go and have a cold shower in the office bathroom. It's like, no.
But that was quite interesting.
Yeah.
That was a week after I had laser eye surgery, so it was quite strange.
You had to
Yeah,
have protective
that's fine.
goggles.
Yeah,
on.
I had to wear goggles, so I was the odd one out.
Great swan dive, though.
Yeah, I did try to do a good salmon dive.
Oh, there we go. A question from Highly Sin. What about the teabag emote you've talked about?
Oh, yeah.
He's actually done it.
Could you
I've
do
actually-
an impression of it?
Yeah, actually.
Do you need a subject, or is
It's
this
like a
inappropriate?
Yeah, if you want to go on the floor while I...
No, we haven't got much room.
Not anymore, he
but-
doesn't.
Well, it's just a little lance. Except
more of
the
a
arse
lunge.
kind of touches the floor. It doesn't really touch the floor, but it's close. It's close to the floor. Yeah.
And
Anyway.
if Dean is watching, so that's mod C3DPO, if Dean is watching, that is done. So I can't think of much else we need to do to persuade you now.
I'm not sure I want him standing next to me next time he demos something like that.
It was quite funny when I was standing there going, this is what I want it to look like.
Yeah, and you were doing it.
I was in the aisle going, it needs to be like this.
Oh, yes.
And then it was like, we could have one looking down and then you could just back smack them. But,
I think
it
the
was
funniest thing was when you just had it playing really fast on a loop.
Yeah, it's like,
so yeah,
just needs
so
sound effects.
if we need extra taunts for the wilderness, at the moment you get a message saying something like, name, whatever their name was, Jmods, was no match for your might or something, we can include a teabag emote now. So yeah, why not? And if Dean is still watching, and he usually does, I don't know what else we need to do to convince you now. So we've now got a 360 no-scoping game and a teabag emote.
Oh god, yeah, I forgot.
Yeah, if you haven't done the Goblin Invasion this week, if you go up to the people that enlist you in either side, you can grab yourself an RPG, rocket paint gun, which you can 360 no-scope other players with.
It's incredibly accurate.
And you can do montages with it and over-edit everything and have weird sound effects and really strong sort of disturbed lyrics and everything else that you usually do.
Oh.
Play too much PC games.
360 no scope.
Do you want a teabag?
Do I want a teabag? Oh no, I'm not dead yet.
Mr. Bosnia says, will a new prayer book be coming out with the new continent? Yes.
Possibly, most
Yeah.
likely. I'd like to work on it. When I am working on it, when I am fulfilling more continent duties, I will let you know what I was doing, what I was planning, and ask for your advice and what you'd like to see.
And I believe we'll be talking a lot more about the continent at RuneFest.
Yes.
I hope to see a lot of you there.
Includes, I have actually named it now, and I will be revealing the name at RuneFest. And extra information about what I've got planned in it. So
And how to pronounce
if
it.
you're coming to RuneFest, well, how you pronounce it is quite simple, but as with Ardoing or Argony or Ardown, whatever you want to call it, there might be some confusion over the name, but we'll see.
We were actually discussing using different ways of saying it throughout the entire thing.
I nearly said it then.
Just to confuse
Just
people.
nearly ruined it. Come to RuneFest if you want to see what the information about the continent, including the name and other things I've got in it.
It's not that exciting. It's not even Johnscape.
No, it's not Johnscape.
I'm quite disappointed it's not John's Gate.
You were disappointed.
Just sitting there, just going.
Yeah, why?
This is not even worth doing now. Get rid of it.
Scrap it.
Well, the thing is, he could have built a mountain in the shape of his name if he was doing all the
Yeah.
mapping for it.
That's true,
You
actually.
could have done, but now you're leaving us, so no,
Yeah, I'll
you're going to
quickly
get
do
no
it.
credit for that.
Also, Dan is a much easier name to spell in mountain than anything longer.
That's true. I suppose if you're going to say Alfred, that's a lot of mountains.
Yeah.
Then they're all trying to say our doing, our
dong.
dogue. That's quite a nice one.
A random Hogwarts.
Our
Caligris, it's not that.
Alfland.
Yes.
Bowl cut in game. I did ask you to make it earlier. Did you actually get around
I
to it?
did. No, I made a sort of bowl cut. King John.
That's not a bowl cut.
It's almost a bowl cut.
Kim Jong-un does not have a bowl cut.
The best thing about it was I don't remember anybody asking him to make it. He just did it.
You asked.
Yes, this morning.
I did. I certainly never asked you to make the hair.
This
Unless
is how
it was on
project planning
stream.
works.
Unless I mentioned it on stream, I never came over to you and said, Alfie, do you know what? I've got no models I want you to make.
I like it's looking to Texan.
Just
Well, it's made now, and yeah, it looks funny as hell.
Bowl cut squad.
Yeah.
James, are we at the right time?
Yeah, can they?
Oh, we're at the right time. Okay, little unbeknownst to Alfie, we've actually commissioned a nice video for him to say goodbye, and a few of the video guys, Alan and Matt especially, have decided to organise a nice going away video as a thank you from one of us.
Whoa.
Well, I'm being stopped here.
I put this together on short notice. This
Oh.
is not a professional.
Oh, okay. So James has stopped
James
me very
making
quickly.
Just because their production quality is high.
Oh,
I
okay.
put this together on
So,
terrible
if it's
computers.
terrible, please tweet at @jagix_James and give him sort of criticisms on his
Yeah.
work. So without further ado, I guess they're going to play the video. Goodbye, Alfie.
Oh, why is it doing this? For God's sake.
You can't hear it.
Oh, okay.
Are we muted?
Can everyone else hear it?
I can hear you.
Oh, the faithful day.
Forward,
This is where you climb.
I made this, small stuff.
That was a good piece of artwork.
I like the
that.
ring.
That was a very good update as well. Got a bit of ash in there.
Well, I'd never seen a guy in onion before.
Well,
Yeah,
well
mate.
done to Alfred.
And I don't want to
Trying.
again.
I think now we need to go to John.
You were substantially further away
That,
when you ate
those,
the
are
chili.
those are very nice. An arm wrestle. This is a while ago.
Waiting.
Before my laser rifle.
The struggle.
Why did we do that again?
I don't know. Spontaneous. That was like my first stream, wasn't it?
That was a while ago.
That was away or something.
Oh God.
God walk.
I'm sincerely hoping for slow-mo. Oh, wow, that is hard.
And a certain logo. Look at Alfie's face. It's just.
I was like, yeah, I'm fine.
Ah, the Mod Wolf one.
It's coming.
Oh my god.
Almost 2 litres.
Good lord.
Please have me slow down here.
That also kept you going.
I actually went to the gym after that. So that's what happened.
I got milk all over my...
It's amazing.
Yeah.
That's really nice. I'm going to use that.
Fold it in half.
Can you fit it in?
It's a scorpion.
Oh, I haven't seen this.
Wider, deeper.
Oh god. that instant regret.
Yeah. I was like, what?
Why do you do this to yourself?
It's grim.
The shell is very hard, by the way.
That's just gruesome.
In the background, that's what we're with the scorpion again.
Yeah, I ate. It wasn't
There's some
that bad.
pockets over there.
Well, we got a good end.
What are we doing?
Oh no.
The top right so it tastes like...
What is we do in
I
software?
love the thumbs up.
Oh, that's a good model. We've never made it, but we can do something with that anyway.
And the occult necklace, yeah.
This enormous odium wall.
Wow, you troll.
Oh. That's a good model. Only one of those, or two of those in game now, actually.
Bows.
Bows, 2 bows.
Oh, we got a second.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I think we have a round of applause after this.
Yeah.
Zoom.
The Zoom.
To be fair, credit to James, that was much better than I thought it was. I don't know what audio he used, but credit to James, well done. That's quite nice. So that's, I guess that's a thank you from us for really quick, really high quality, really hilarious models and everything else you've given us.
No, it's been a genuine pleasure to work with you, mate.
Thanks, man. Yeah.
Awesome.
It was great working with you guys.
And there'll be news on Alfie's replacement very soon. As Alfie's already pointed out, he's training a replacement.
Or
but we're
trained.
or trained training. We're working through the transition phase, so we're not really discussing much at the moment. We're not without an artist. We're just in the transition process of sorting out the artist. So we'll give you more news on that when we have some.
And we hope to be able to show you whole new faces on this sofa in the foreseeable.
I think he looks forward to doing it. Although today when we asked him, he said, "I haven't had a shave yet." So
Really?
that was his excuse.
It doesn't seem to stop many of us.
No.
Who's shaved here?
Well, I shaved like 2 days ago.
I had
but-
one this morning, yeah.
You.
I had one blind. Because you don't have a mirror in your bathroom.
That video will go on YouTube as well on the Old School channel if you want to plug it.
Okay, yeah, as James said, that video that we just played to say goodbye to Alfie is going to go on our Old School YouTube channel. Do subscribe to it because we do use it occasionally. And it's a good memory and token to Alfred. So I guess that's... should we say another final round of applause?
Oh, yeah.
Guys.
Also to James for that video as well, because that's a really good video.
I'll
I
give
liked
it back to James.
Anyway, we are at 1 minute past 6. So I believe, at least the clock says so on our screen. I know it's technically sometimes fast, but someone correct me on that. No one's corrected me. Awesome.
Awesome.
So I guess we're going to leave this till next week, where we joined with an empty seat.
And
So,
Mod Matt K will be back, hopefully.
Yes, he will.
If his car works again.
Well, you could take over the seat again and sort
I'll
of
be over there, I guess.
sort of move around
Take over.
like you do.
Anything else to plug from next week's?
I don't think we have anything particular to plug.
Alfie's charity run.
Oh, yeah.
That.
Okay. Yeah.
Please do vote in the Bounty Hunter reward poll if you haven't done so. Some of the stuff is very close to passing or failing, arguably. All the votes do make the difference. If you do want a successful Bounty Hunter system, we do need to make sure we get as many things you want in there as possible, so please do go and vote on that. And again, follow us on Twitter. Again, they're usually behind us, but this week James and Simon were slacking and didn't do it, so... So we'll give it there.
At Jagex Jack Mob, is it?
Yep.
Yep. Jagex Reach.
Jagex John C.
At Jagex Ash.
I'm not actually sure what I'm doing with my Twitter yet. So I'm not going to plug it.
But
But
at Jagex
Jagex
Alfred,
Alfred.
you'll find a link to his donation page for his charity run.
Yeah, so the charity run is on my, it's pinned on my Twitter, so if you want to go check that out, it's for Save the Children. Wouldn't hurt just checking it out.
Save some children.
Yay. Gnome children.
And our Jagex Ronin, but go to his and do the charity thing. Don't go to
See
my
ya.
He ate a scorpion for you guys.
Anyway, thank you guys, and goodbye, Alfred.
See you next week.
See ya.